Hello and welcome to the United Forum. This is your latest Manchester United news, transfer news, updates, and your opportunity to voice your opinion out for the very first time in Sri Lanka. I've kept saying this throughout the week, haven't I? Disappointment yet again. And yes, you did read that caption right as well. Is it time up for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? You might even think that I'm crazy because all these captions have been going somewhat related to that. I have to go somewhat related to that since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is just not getting the sack. And mind you, Christian Falk is sacked by Norwich City as well. Dean Smith is sacked by Aston Villa. Nuno Espirito Santo was sacked by Tottenham Hotspur. It is just Manchester United which remain with their incompetent board and the manager yet at that job as a manager. About yesterday's game, Manchester City get the better of Manchester United in the Manchester Derby at Old Trafford. Scores 2-0 to Manchester City. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer once again going with a back five. It was a flat five at the back, to be honest. They were more like not wing backs which were put out there to go forward and feeding those crosses to our strikers. Instead, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer just placed in an extra defender there to stop the goals leaking but by the 6th minute we had leaked our first goal, which was an own goal by Eric Bailey. Unfortunate, we've seen this by Eric Bailey a couple of times as well. That aside, Manchester United take on Manchester City at Old Trafford, their home ground, known to be the fortress as well, and known to be a place where opposition teams come with fear to face Manchester United. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, as manager, decides to park the bus at our home ground, in our home ground, against Manchester City, in a Manchester derby, against our own rivals, and make it the most boring Manchester derby I've ever witnessed in my eyes. To be honest, that was boring from minute one. It was defensive, it was more of a park the bus football, sit back and counter attack. There were no counter attacks. I thought the lineup he got was wrong. I thought Greenwood, when you play two strikers, especially against City, and when you are looking to hit at the break, hit at that counter attack, you shouldn't be playing Greenwood and Cristiano Ronaldo together. If you are going to counter attack, you need pace against a team like City, and definitely a Martial should have started, a Rashford should have started. Yes, I know Rashford was ill, but if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer can manage to start Victor Lindelof, who has not been in training in that defense, why not choose Marcus Rashford, who did have a few games? I know he was ill. All right, leave Marcus Rashford aside. You've got Anthony Martial. You talk about Anthony Martial not getting enough game time. Whose fault is that? That is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's fault. Yesterday's game, Fred and Scott McTominay were terrible. I barely saw them on the pitch doing anything good. They shouldn't be playing for Manchester United. They don't deserve to put that jersey on and go out there and play, but you can't blame them because it is not Scott McTominay and Fred that keep picking themselves up in that starting 11. It is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And yesterday, what disappoints me yesterday, was after the match, was the pundits again. The Manchester United ex-players, the people we call legends, the people who played for Manchester United to win, are still not calling out on Solskjaer. They still put the blame on the players instead of putting the blame on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Is clearly evident. It's clearly evident. We've witnessed it with our eyes that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is not the man for this job. How much has he got? 4 points from 12, 6 from 18, somewhat like that, yeah? And definitely, had this not been Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, had this been a Jose Mourinho, had this been a Louis van Gaal, had this been David Moyes, definitely either of these three managers would have got the sack. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is not getting that sack just because he is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and he is a legend of the club. And what frustrates me even more is these ex-players, the legends. I'll get to that. Do give me a while. Checking if there are live chats. No, not yet. Do send in your thoughts, your opinions, anything you've got Manchester United related on that live chat as well. Plenty to talk about related to Manchester United. I'll get back to the ex-players and these pundits. Gary Neville and Roy Keane still don't call out on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Yes, they did come out on Twitter a bit later on, but not right after the match. Even after the match, Roy Keane was blaming David De Gea for the second goal that was conceded. It was clearly Harry Maguire's and Luke Shaw's fault that defensively they could have done so much better. Harry Maguire and Luke Shaw were in top form during the Euros. They start for Manchester United this season. They have been terrible, and you have to call them out. As much as I like Harry Maguire and Luke Shaw, these two players have been poor. Their form, their form deserves to be the form they are in right now. They don't deserve to play for that Manchester United badge. Maybe not even Aston Villa, because that's how bad they have been playing. Definitely, Alex Telles deserves that chance. Deserves a chance at left back. Eric Bailey deserves to play 90 minutes, and that substitution is to be questioned by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. That was the worst substitution Ole Gunnar Solskjaer should have made, because Lindelof literally did not train, and you literally keep Harry Maguire, who has been bad in form, Lindelof, who has not been training, take out Eric Bailey, our best defender in the Champions League game, and bring in Jadon Sancho. Apart from that, starting off with these legends. So yesterday, David De Gea was blamed by Roy Keane for that second goal which was conceded, which I think is totally Luke Shaw and Harry Maguire's fault. They could have dealt this. They are playing for Manchester United. They have the Manchester United crest on their chest. When you are a Manchester United player, you've got to do better. Miscommunication, you can't. That's the minimum. That's the minimum that should be done on the pitch when you are a Manchester United player. You can't use communication as an excuse. They should have done better. You can't blame De Gea, because when the ball came, De Gea and the goal scorer were quite close, and it was a little too difficult for De Gea to react, with all honesty. And to start off yesterday, McTominay and Fred were terrible. They did not deserve to be on that pitch, and Van der Beek, Matic and Pogba are literally there watching these two play. Definitely Van der Beek is going in trouble with the way things are going on. Definitely Pogba is leaving in the summer. He's going to run that contract down, and Matic will most probably retire by the end of this season. What's pathetic is it was Fred and McTominay. As much as Fred was bad yesterday, Scott McTominay was equally bad. And yesterday, Roy Keane once again blames Fred. There is no blame on Scott McTominay. He literally says that Scott McTominay is still learning on his role, and that he is still young. In a few months, Scott McTominay will be turning 25. So how young is he if he is 25? Alright, you call Scott McTominay, he is young. So you're going to call Marcus Rashford, Mason Greenwood, Jadon Sancho, Anthony Martial kids who deserve to play in the under 19, under 21 level, and not at the senior team. Because if Scott McTominay is 25, he is 25, and if you are going to call this guy young and still learning to play on that midfield role, he literally shouldn't be playing in that midfield. Manchester United have Scott McTominay and Fred in that engine room you called, in that midfield pivot, and they've been terrible. As much as Fred has been bad yesterday, like I told you, all the blame equally, Scott McTominay has been bad equally as well, and all the blame going on Fred is pathetic to see. It's this, what do I say, it's this biasness towards these English players. And I know Scott McTominay is still Scottish, but this agenda these pundits and ex-players have with foreign players, it's massive, to be honest. You saw David De Gea being blamed. Had it not been for David De Gea, we are literally 4 to 5 goals down by that first half. The match literally could have ended up like the Liverpool match, and even much more worse. In fact, for me, I think the City game was worse than Liverpool, because they scored 2 pathetic goals to be conceding. To be honest, those were the 2 worst goals you can concede in a Manchester derby, and they literally toyed around with us in that second half. They literally had their training session there. They can take a 2 days break, since they had their training session there as well. And getting to these foreign players, this agenda with these foreign players, Roy Keane going on at David De Gea and Fred, Scott McTominay is being saved. Micah Richards, a former player of Manchester City, our rival. Graham Souness, a former player of Liverpool, once again Manchester United's rival. Both these ex-players from these rival clubs come out and say that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is still not good enough for Manchester United. Micah Richards literally said the standards of Manchester United are much better than this, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is not the man for Manchester United, is what he meant from there. And when he said this, Gary Neville and Roy Keane literally had nothing to say. And then you see Gary Neville coming out and saying that, yes, We do understand that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is not the man for Manchester United, but Manchester United have been down this road of appointing world-class managers such as Jose Mourinho and Louis van Gaal, and things have not turned out well for Manchester United. So Manchester United shouldn't be looking for another world-class manager. Is what Gary Neville is telling out there, isn't it? We should stick to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who is not having a good season so far, who has dropped the standards of Manchester United. Instead of going out there and picking up a world-class manager, Conte was available, Zinedine Zidane is available, and even if managers are not available, even if managers are still managing other clubs, we are Manchester United, one of the biggest clubs in Europe, the biggest club in England. We go out there, put a few numbers on that check. You give it to the manager. Yes, go tell him we are the biggest club in England. This is your opportunity to come manage them. Do you want to take it or not? You take the job or not? You want Eric Ten Hag? Write that check down. Give it to him. Say this is Manchester United, the biggest club in England, one of the biggest in Europe, a world-class squad at the moment. Do you want to manage the team or not? He'll definitely come if you give him the right amount. If you show him a bit of money, he'll definitely come. All right, Zinedine Zidane, go give him the amount he needs. Go give him what he needs. All right, he wants his coaching setup. Get him his coaching setup. Sack the coaching setup. The whole coaching setup has to be sacked at Manchester United. Not just Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. The whole coaching setup, including Mike Phelan, beat Michael Carrick or Kieran McKenna. All this whole coaching setup has to be sacked. If Darren Fletcher and John Murtough could be replaced also, I think that would be much better, because Manchester United have been linked to Raf Ragnarik, I think. I'm not quite sure what his name is. And he is willing to be the director of football for Manchester United as well. If he is up to take that role, give it to him. Rio Ferdinand is saying he too can take that role of a sporting director. Go give it out to him if it's possible. I mean, not just if it's possible, you have to sack the whole coaching team as well. You have to sack the whole coaching setup, in my opinion. Kieran McKenna, Michael Carrick, Mike Phelan are just not good enough. You've got to sack that whole coaching setup. And yes, it'll be much better if you could sack Darren Fletcher and John Murtough and bring in competent people out there. Manchester United need a change. Overall, a pathetic performance by Manchester United. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, not the man for me as well. I've been Ole out for a few weeks. It's just frustrating to see this. And wanting Manchester United to win and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer sack is really frustrating and something very difficult to do, to be honest. And about what Gary Neville said, I did say that Gary Neville said that we've gone down the road of appointing world-class managers and they have failed. So Ole Gunnar Solskjaer should be the man for Manchester United. And I also saw another tweet on Twitter as well, where he says, where a certain person says, so I've been eating food and my food has been tasting awful. So I've switched to eating shite. I'll be honest, eating shite is way more awful, but I can't switch back to food since we've been down that road previously. I think that is the perfect way to sum up what Gary Neville has said. I tweets out there as well. I think, like I told, it's a perfect way to sum up what Gary Neville has said. Just because you've appointed world-class managers at Manchester United and things haven't worked out doesn't mean you shouldn't go down that road again. You learn from your mistakes. I know, yes, we've been down that road, but there are literally managers out there, world-class managers. Zinedine Zidane is not Louis van Gaal. Zinedine Zidane is not David Moyes. He is not Jose Mourinho. Zinedine Zidane is Zinedine Zidane. He's won things with one of the biggest clubs in Europe, in Real Madrid. He's won 3 UCL, UEFA Champions Leagues together. He's come back. Once he left from Real Madrid, he came back and won the league once again with the squad he had, which was quite something which looked impossible. So he is a proven manager. Is he proven? Not yet. I'll tell you what, Sir Alex Ferguson at Aberdeen was not proven, wasn't he? He was not a Manchester United ex-player. He was at Aberdeen. He won trophies. He came to Manchester United. He put his own identity there and called it the Manchester United identity because he was the manager of Manchester United. He wanted the youth to come forward. He brought the youth forward. He wanted attack in football. He showed that Manchester United is attack in football. It is not the Manchester United way. It is Sir Alex Ferguson's way. It is a manager who brings identity to the club, not the club giving identity to the manager. Things have changed from way back in the past. I know Alex Ferguson stayed for many, many years at the club. That's not the way now. Maximum time you can give a manager is 3 years. That is what long term is now. You talk about long term. Is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer going to manage Manchester United for 6 years and then win one trophy? Because he is in his third year now. The next 2 years don't seem to be quite good as well. So are you saying me that if you are talking about long term, if these pundits are talking about long term, these ex players, the people we call legends are talking about the long term, are you telling me Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to be here at Manchester United for 6 years and win one Premier League? If you had bought Antonio Conte, or maybe even a Zinedine Zidane, maybe an Erik Ten Hag, maybe any other manager who is a proven winner, you would have won at least 2 to 3 trophies in 3 to 6 years. In 3 years, you would have won definitely about 2 to 3 trophies, definitely with a proper proven manager. If you back him with what he needs, definitely 2 to 3 trophies rather than one trophy in 6 years. I'm just sick of talking about this. I'm sick. I think this club is run by clowns. It's turned from a football club, it's turned from a club with a rich history to a circus full of clowns, starting from the owners. I think even maybe with the manager, because you talk about this meme where they had put in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and him this quote saying that you either be the superhero or watch yourself be the villain. I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is now starting to watch himself be the villain, and if he does not get sacked by this week, definitely he'll complete being that villain of Manchester United. He is a legend at Manchester United. He's got to save that reputation and move away from Manchester United. He's got to step down. He definitely understands that he can't take Manchester United to the next level. You know, we could go talking about this for hours and days as well. Let's just move on to the player ratings. Abdul Khalik says, why the cap though? Yes, about that, mate. About that. I've got a fresh haircut since I'm starting school, and then I wear these headphones. They seem to be a little too big to my head, so I decided just to put this cap on so it looks quite good. The thing is, the silver part here makes this headphone look way too big to my head and looks a bit odd with the haircut. So I decided to wear this cap. Maybe I might change it to a beanie in a few days, in a few weeks. Let's see how things go. And to start off, yesterday's starting 11 was David De Gea, Aaron Van Bissaka, Eric Bailey, Harry Maguire, Lindelof, and Shaw in the defense. Scott McTominay, Fred Bruno in the midfield. He was more of a Bruno was a number 10. He was more of a striker. I really don't know what his role at Manchester United is at the moment, because I see him all over that pitch. It was the same with Harry Maguire. I saw Fred, almost a striker yesterday. He was pressing way too high up the pitch as well. Really don't know what their roles in this club at the moment is. We also had Ronaldo and Greenwood as starting strikers, which I thought was the wrong choice to play alongside Ronaldo. Who was Greenwood? I thought Sancho, Martial. I thought Rashford, Martial, or even Sancho should have started alongside Greenwood. And then we had Sancho, Telles, Van de Beek, and Rashford as our substitutions. Just take this off right now. There we go. To start off with the player ratings. To start off with David De Gea. And I thought, had it not been for David De Gea, once again Manchester United should have been about 4 to 5 goals down in that first half starting. And once again, Roy Keane blaming David De Gea for that second goal. I'll tell you what, Roy Keane, watch this. You go back, watch the highlights, and tell me what did Luke Shaw and Harry Maguire do right for you to blame David De Gea for that second goal. Do give me an answer. Roy Keane. I'll be waiting for that. To start off with David De Gea, I've given David De Gea a 7. Once again, I thought, yes, the only player, and definitely, yes, starting off straight away, he is my man of the match as well. Why I did give him a 7 is incredible saves yesterday, some world-class saves. And once again, had it not been for him, I thought this might have even turned out to be worse than Liverpool. And that Liverpool game should have been even more worse once again had it not been for him. So to start off with David De Gea, I've given him a 7. Get through this real quick for you guys as well, since we did start a little late. Next up, we've got Aaron Van Bissaka. Apart from David De Gea, I thought only Van Bissaka was the best player out on that pitch. I've given him a 6, an average game. He did quite well for me. Did not really do any mistakes. I thought our left side yesterday was pathetic. It was shambles. It was a shame to call these players who did play yesterday Manchester United players. That manager, definitely there's something going on in that dressing room, because players don't seem to be happy. I'll tell you what, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has. You talk about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's man management, it is a myth. I'll tell you what, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has definitely lost the trust of Alex Telles, Paul Pogba, Donny van de Beek. That's no doubt. It's a 110% yes. Anthony Martial, and who else? And Jadon Sancho is starting to show frustration as well. I'm not quite sure if Marcus Rashford is actually happy as well. So I think he's starting to lose that dressing room as well. Yesterday you saw Cristiano Ronaldo once again frustrated after the match and heading down to that tunnel. And I think he's starting to lose that dressing room, because right after the Liverpool game we saw a lot of things leaked out of the dressing room as well. So I really think this myth about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's good man management is actually not true at all. It's just a myth, like you say. Next up, we've got Victor Lindelof at the defense, the man who can make an appearance for Manchester United, one of the best club in England and one of the best clubs in Europe, without a training session. And yes, I thought yesterday that defense was pathetic. And no, I've not given him a 10. Don't worry, don't you get surprised. That was a mistake. He's trying to hold that 1-0 up there, and try to get that 10 for himself. Mate, maybe see that at some other club like Everton, not at Manchester United. You're not getting that 10, mate, just not up there. And that is why I've given Lindelof a 4 as well. Next up, we've got Harry Maguire, our captain. And before Harry Maguire, let's just go to Eric Bailey. And there you go. I've got to trim these pictures. I really got to trim these pictures real fast as well. So yes, to start off with Eric Bailey's rating. Do send in your ratings, your opinions, questions, Manchester United related, anything you've got on that live chat as well. Opinions differ. Yours differs from mine differs from yours from anyone else as well. So do send in your opinions on the live chat, because it is your opinions that keeps their show going. To start off now, next we've got Eric Bailey. I thought it was not really right. Yes, he did concede that own goal, which I thought was unfortunate. Apart from that, I thought he shouldn't have been substituted. Definitely the wrong substitution by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to be bringing Sancho instead of Eric Bailey. Yes, maybe bringing Sancho would have changed things around. Maybe that was the right substitution at that time. But definitely pulling out Eric Bailey when you've got Lindelof, who has not been in training, and Harry Maguire, who is definitely in bad form and was the victim of conceding that second goal. You put Eric Bailey, your best defender, in that starting defense out, was a pathetic decision to be made by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's decision making too is a big question, and that is why I've given Bailey a 4. Moving on from Eric Bailey, we go to Harry Maguire, our captain. To be honest, I really don't want to be calling him the captain. He has not been living up to that armband on his arm. Yesterday, I saw on set pieces, on offensive set pieces, when it was the corner for Manchester City, I see Cristiano Ronaldo commanding players, be here, be there, saying players to do this, do that. And then you've got Harry Maguire just opening his mouth and looking around. Is this a Manchester United captain? Is the Is the decision to make Harry Maguire the captain just 6 months after coming into Manchester United the right decision? Someone who does not know Manchester United in and out, who has not been a part of Manchester United, when you've got the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo. I know Ronaldo came in here this summer. All right, before that you had Bruno Fernandes, who is a true leader, which is very evident on the pitch as well. Definitely, he has shown his leadership skills on that pitch as well. You've got David Dyer. I'm not quite sure why David Dyer was stripped out of captaincy. You talk about having that pressure, but I really think if it is not for either Cristiano Ronaldo, Dave, or Bruno Fernandes, it should be David De Gea, not Harry Maguire. And if you really don't want to give David De Gea because he has that thing of pressure, and you don't want to give it to Cristiano Ronaldo and Bruno Fernandes, you've got Rafael Varane there out there as well, who is much more experienced, who has been in one of the best clubs in Europe, who has better leadership skills and commands that defense quite well as well. To start off with Harry Maguire, I've given him a 3. I thought he was pathetic yesterday. I still think, I'm not quite sure if he's still carrying that injury in him, but it just doesn't seem to be up to that mark. That we missed the Harry Maguire who was Harry Maguire during the Euros. The Maguire before the Euros was in good form, and the Maguire at Euros, I'm not quite sure what really happened after that final. He seems to be off tone these few weeks as well throughout this season, in fact, and once again a victim of that second goal which was conceded. Moving on from Harry Maguire, we move on to Luke Shaw, who I think once again is in very bad form. Again, he too has not been up to the standards. You talk about Luke Shaw being one of the best left backs in the past few months, and especially in that Euros, he has been in sublime form. All that has gone, and I think we're seeing the old Luke Shaw who people used to criticize once again, which brings fear, in fact, into us as Manchester United fans, and that is why I've given Luke Shaw 4 as well. Once again, a victim of that goal which was conceded, can do better, has the potential to be a better player, just not good enough yesterday. And as a Manchester United player, I think he should be dropped yesterday, and I thought Alex Telles should have been bought because he deserves that chance. Start off with Fred next up. I really don't know where he was on that pitch. I'm not quite sure where if I did see him in the pitch. Did he really start that game? What was he doing? You talk about Fred tackling the ball, breaking up play. Where was that? Alright, you talk about giving him the freedom to move up front, and you might see a few good glimpses of Fred. Where was that? Pathetic yesterday, and I've given Fred a 3 as well. Moving on from Fred, we've got Scott McTominay, his Valentine partner. I thought, as much as Fred was bad, I thought Scott McTominay was equally bad as well. I know Roy Keane does not blame. He says that he is still learning his role at a young age. I'm not quite sure what young means to Roy Keane. He's literally turning 25. He is not that young. He is literally getting to his primes at this moment of time as well. And if he can't take this responsibility, if he does not suit this role, if he can't play as a defensive midfielder, just get him onto that bench, make him a substitute, make him a squad player, and you tell him, if you are going to start for Manchester United, you have to live up to the expectations, set the standards high, and you've got to deliver performances week in, week out, because you are in that injury room. He's just not good enough for me. Maybe a squad player, maybe start off from that bench to bring in something, a bit of energy or a few minutes in the legs as well, to bring in some legs running on that pitch maybe. And to start off, next up we've got Bruno Fernandes, and how often this happens. I've given Bruno Fernandes a 4 as well. I thought he was not up there yesterday as well. I thought he was just not good enough. And something we are consistently seeing with Bruno Fernandes now is the frustration he lets out on that pitch. He lets out on that pitch and on at times at the referees as well. This frustration he gets in the ground. What I've got to tell is, he's got to collect all this frustration he keeps getting on that pitch during the first half. Once that first half is over, get into that dressing room and blast it all out. Tell the players what they've got to do, and blast that frustration on the players, onto the face of the players, and come out that second half refreshed as well. And I think he's got to fix that himself once again. He's got to fix that as well. Once again, that goes down to coaching, because a proper manager will tell him, or at least a senior player has got to tell him, someone like Cristiano Ronaldo, Bruno, you've got to settle down, you've got to keep calm a few minutes, and maybe get out of that dressing room after the halftime and then let out your frustration. You can't just let your frustration out on that pitch and make things go the other way around. And how often do you see Bruno Fernandes getting a 4? I've given Bruno 4. Do send in your ratings, your opinions, questions, anything Manchester United related on that live chat as well. Abdul Khalik once again says DDG or someone else should take over as the captain. Thoughts? Yes, I did say that. I hope you were there while I did say that as well. Definitely, it has to be David De Gea. Maybe David De Gea, maybe even Cristiano Ronaldo, Bruno Fernandes. Or if you really don't like any of these three, I think you have Rafael Varane there as well. It should definitely be stripped out of Harry Maguire, which I don't think will happen as long as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is there. Unless someone really goes and pours something into his mind and changes things around. Moving on from Bruno Fernandes, we have our two strikers, Cristiano Ronaldo and Mason Greenwood. I'll tell you what, our strikers like Mark Goldbridge just say, they were on the graveyard shift. Cristiano Ronaldo and Mason Greenwood were lost boys yesterday, not knowing what to do. Greenwood was isolated, Ronaldo not enough service. You talk about this system working in favor of Cristiano Ronaldo, working in favor of Cristiano Ronaldo so that he gets more goals to his name. Is it really gonna work? Is it really gonna work? Because we are literally playing with a flat back five. Our wing backs are not attacking, they are not delivering the crosses. So is this system really going to work for Cristiano Ronaldo is the question. And what is actually the future of Manchester United? Is it going to be a back five? Is it a 4-2-3-1? Is it a 4-3-3? Because we constantly seeing this formation change. We see consistency, inconsistency. I'll rephrase that again. We see consistency in being in. We are in fact, okay, I'll rephrase that properly. We see consistency in being inconsistent, and now we are seeing consistency in the change of formations. What is Manchester United at the moment, to be honest? What is our brand of football? What is our style of play? What are we known for? Are we just Manchester United with Cristiano Ronaldo? Are we just Manchester United with Bruno Fernandes? Are we just Manchester United with David De Gea and Rafael Varane? What are we? For me, I think we've gone from a football club known to win trophies. We went from a football club known to win trophies, win every match we play. We went to a football club with a rich history, and now we are a football club full. In fact, we're not a football club at the moment. We are a circus run by clowns, starting from the board and maybe even the manager. So Cristiano Ronaldo once again, which is disappointing to say, to with all honesty. I've given him a 4 as well. A lot of 4s tonight. He was just not up there. You really can't blame Cristiano Ronaldo right now, is he? Can you? He is 36. He preserves energy for other things. That is why he doesn't press. He does not have service. And I'll tell you what, I told this a few shows back as well. Had Cristiano Ronaldo signed for Manchester City, he would have scored about 40 goals. You look at the number of chances Manchester City create. You look at the number of chances Manchester United create. Yesterday, we clearly saw that Manchester City lacked a clinical finisher. Imagine Cristiano Ronaldo played that derby for Manchester City yesterday, and the number of goals Manchester United would have conceded in that first half. I think that speaks volumes to you of where Manchester United are and how far down the standards have been dropped. Moving on from Cristiano Ronaldo, we have Mason Greenwood. I thought he was the wrong choice from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He shouldn't have started in the first place, because when you play the likes of Manchester City, like I told you, you need pace to attack on that counter. And when you have Greenwood, yes, Greenwood does have a decent amount of pace as well, but he is not a player who, passes and goes and, feeds in a few good passes to Cristiano Ronaldo. He is literally a striker who does not look to pass the ball. Instead, he looks to take that shot. Just like Cristiano Ronaldo's crew has been trying to create magical moments, shoot a shot at the goal, and create an individual moment with a goal as well. So not the two people who should be starting as the strikers up front yesterday. Definitely should have been a Marcus Rashford, definitely should have been a Martial, or even a Jadon Sancho. And that is why I've given Mason Greenwood a 4 as well. Moving on to our substitutions, let me get through that real quick. Marcus Rashford, to start off with, really. Uh, until I came back to my book and I started rating this place, I literally forgot. I literally forgot the fact that Marcus Rashford was substituted. What was Marcus Rashford actually doing yesterday? Since the time he came to the pitch, I really did not notice him. And I really forgot that Marcus Rashford did manage to come on as a substitution until I double checked it. And I thought, yes, he was not good enough. If he was ill, should he have come onto that bench and started? Should he have given his place to Anthony Martial? Once again, that goes down to the coach, really. And he was just not good enough for me as well. And I'll give Marcus Rashford a 4. Do send in your ratings, your thoughts, questions, anything Manchester United related on that live chat as well. And like I keep telling you, it is you that keeps the show running. So do send in your thoughts on the live chat. We'll move on to Van de Beek. The only good thing yesterday, and the only time that fans actually cheered, was when Fred was substituted for Donny Van de Beek, and I think he deserves a lot more play time. We just won't see that with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And yesterday, he was okay once he came onto the pitch. He deserves more time. We really can't expect much from Donny Van de Beek to come in for 20 minutes. Was it 20 or 10 minutes in a Manchester derby? And when he has not been given good game time to create something really good in order to take our chances the other way round, and that is why I've given Donny van de Beek a 5 as well. We move on to the next substitution. We did have 4 substitutions yesterday, since Luke Shaw was substituted as a concussion substitute. So we'll move on to Sancho. And Jadon Sancho, yes, I thought he was good once he came yesterday. He showed some energy as well. He did run quite well. He tracked back as well. And if you do know, there is a stat which says when played in the pitch, definitely, Jadon Sancho is one of the best wingers at the moment who tracks back. One of the best wingers who tracks back when played on the pitch at the moment. That is a start for you, and he did do quite well. But you really can't. Once again, you really can't expect him to turn things around when he has not been given proper playtime. Manchester United got scouted Jadon Sancho for almost 3 years, got him to play on that right wing, and still does not have a chance to play on the right wing. Yes, once he was substituted, he did play on that right side, but once Marcus Rashford came in, I did see Jadon Sancho play on the left and Rashford switch to the right, which is quite disappointing. And to be honest, I really don't know what is going on with this club right now, and I really don't want to talk about it. Do send in your opinions, your thoughts, your ratings on the live chat as well. Next up, we've got Alex Telles. I think he deserves way more play time. He deserves to play over Luke Shaw at the moment as well. Luke Shaw is in very bad form, does not deserve to play there over Alex Telles, to be honest. I've given Alex Telles a 5 as well. A little sympathetic these ratings towards his substitutions a bit, because you really can't expect the substitutions to do anything much in one of these in one of the most important games when they've given such little game time. And to come for those few minutes they did come in and change things around is asking quite too much, in my opinion. And about yesterday, I've got one last thing to say. So I did watch a fan I did watch a fan vlog this morning. So it was from a fan who did attend the match at Old Trafford. I know as fans from Sri Lanka, we do watch the match on the television and maybe on the laptops, on your phones, and we really don't see everything that happens in the ground, and we don't really hear everything that the fans chant. Even if you do, it's not quite clear. But what this fan did have to say is that last night, in fact, it was in the evening, yesterday Sri Lankan time at 6 p.m. So yesterday's match, uh, while it was being played, the fans, when David Dahya did get the ball, the fans had waved at David Dahya to take a goal kick instead of passing it to Harry Maguire and Victor Lindelof, because they know that Victor Lindelof and Harry Maguire do not know what to do once they get the ball. And whenever David Dahya did take that goal kick and kick it out wide to our forwards or midfielders, there was a huge cheer for David Dahya. That tells you what is happening at Manchester United right now, where the coaching is, the state of the fans at the moment, the standards, how far it has dropped down. I think I really don't have to speak anymore about this as well. That clearly tells you what is going on at Manchester United, which is a shame, to be honest. And in fact, to be calling certain people a part of Manchester United at this moment is a shame as well, because it's clearly evident that the standards have been dropped far down. Things are not going to plan definitely, and not as Manchester United's way as well. It's very disappointing. I've kept talking about this. It frustrates me to keep talking about this as well. Apart from last night's match, Manchester United have been linked. I've got a few news on that as well. Manchester United have been linked to Brendan Rodgers as our next manager as well. Will you take Brendan Rodgers as the next Manchester United player, considering the fact that he was a past Liverpool ex-Liverpool manager as well? So what we did get today is that there is a verbal agreement between Manchester United and Brendan Rodgers at the moment, as a potential, considering Brendan Rodgers as a potential replacement for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And this report was further clarified, it was a false report. And this outlet which did come up with this news was, I think it was, not quite sure what the outlet was. I can't really remember the name, so let me just have a look on that as well. I'm having a look on that at the moment, so give me a minute. Let me just check on that. Uh, this is Dean Smith being sucked. And yeah, there we go. So the outlet was caught offside, and there is this outlet is reliable when there is one certain journalist who comes out with the news, but it was not the journalist we expected. It was some other journalist from the same outlet, so it's not really reliable. I really don't think Brendan Rodgers would leave. He might, yes. If I think if Manchester United do approach Brendan Rodgers, he will accept the job, because it is Manchester United, one of the best clubs in England, in Europe as well, and it is much bigger than Leicester City. But if he really does think about the legacy, or if he really does think about Liverpool and the fact that he is an ex-Liverpool manager, I think he won't accept the job. But you never know, football is a funny game, anything can happen. You've seen Rafa Benitez move from Liverpool to Everton as well, so you never know. You might see Brendan Rodgers. I do think if Manchester United do approach Brendan Rodgers and pay out the release clause to Leicester City, he will accept the job. But for Manchester United, if they are really going to approach Brendan Rodgers, they should think about this twice as well. Will all the fans of Manchester United will all the Manchester United fans be satisfied with this appointment, considering the fact that he is a rival ex-manager, or the ex-manager of a rival club? So I'm not really quite sure if Brendan Rodgers is the man to take Manchester United to the next step as well. We've seen it with Liverpool. He did bottle the league with Liverpool. We saw it with Leicester City, how the number of times he bottled up fourth place. Yes, he did win the Carabao Cup, or was it the FA Cup? I think it was the FA Cup. He did win with Leicester City as well, but still, is Brendan Rodgers the man you should be going for? We definitely missed out on Antonio Conte, which is such a shame. We still have Zinedine Zidane, and I still think we can get in for other managers. Maybe I think I know there are rumors saying that Eric Ten Hag won't leave Ajax mid-season, but if you go out to Eric Ten Hag, give him the job, write that check down, give it to him, saying, I'm offering you the Manchester United job, one of the biggest club in Europe, the biggest club in England, with one of the best squads in Europe right now. Are you taking the job or not? If I was Eric Ten Hag, definitely yes, because this is your one-time opportunity to become the manager of Manchester United. You might not get your opportunity once again. So you still, considering the fact that Manchester United is one of the biggest clubs in Europe, I think whether or not a manager is managing another team, we still can get them. Just like Real Madrid got Carlo Ancelotti. I know Ancelotti does have a soft spot in his heart for Real Madrid, but still it shows you if you go to a manager, give them the right offer and convince them, they will accept the job. As Manchester United, I still feel we can do that, and there's talks of an option or a reliable successor for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer not being available is rubbish. They've still got Zinedine Zidane. Yes, rumors saying that Zidane is waiting for that French job. I really don't think the present manager of France will be sacked. He just won the Euros. He's moving on to a World Cup. World Cup. I think this World Cup will be he's considering, in fact, his consideration on the job as well from the France Football Federation. But if you really go up to Zidane with the right offer, I think Zidane will accept the offer as well. Apart from that, nothing really much at the moment. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is not sacked yet. If you really want me to, I'll do go check out and see if there are any updates at the moment. Not really. I did see a few outlets saying that Manchester United are seriously considering sacking Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as well, and the fact that I think in my opinion, I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will be sacked. Definitely, he has to be sacked. And why they have not sacked Ole Gunnar Solskjaer yet is because I think they are finding for a replacement for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And I think I'm definitely sure if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is being sacked, it has not been announced yet, since Manchester United are looking for a replacement for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Abdul Khalik says, which manager in the market do you think can fit United now? In my opinion, this squad is tailor-made for Zinedine Zidane. Zinedine Zidane would be my option. It is tailor-made for him. He has worked with a few players previously in this squad as well, the likes of Rafael Varane. He also played with Cristiano Ronaldo as well. I think he was the Real Madrid manager who wanted David De Gea at that time. I think he wanted Donny van de Beek at Real Madrid as well. So there are a few players I think will suit his system. Definitely, I think the whole squad is tailor-made for him. I think he liked managing the likes of Bruno Fernandes, Jadon Sancho, Marcus Rashford, Cristiano Ronaldo, Rafael Varane, and you may never know who else will be added to that squad when you have the likes of a manager at the caliber of Zinedine Zidane. That is pretty much it for today, folks, from tonight's show. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, yes, is still the manager of Manchester United. Hopefully, in the next 24 to 48 hours will be key to his future. We'll see what happens. I'll be back with you on Friday. In fact, no, yes, the Friday. It is not the pre-match press conference since it is the international break. So we'll see what happens throughout the week. I'll definitely be back with you with that news on Friday. Before I sign off, let's all wish David De Gea a very happy birthday. Because what would Manchester United this season be without David De Gea? We'll literally be fighting for relegation. So yes, a very happy birthday to David De Gea, a club legend, definitely in my opinion. And until I see you on Friday for the next show at 10 p.m., do have a blessed week. Schools are starting from Monday, so if you are going to school, all the very best as well. I hope you have a good week as well. Do stay safe, wear a mask at all times, sanitize yourselves as well at all times. And until I see you on Friday at 10 p.m., Have a good night and a blessed week. This is the United Forum.